Welcome to another episode of Direk Talk. Ako po si Lloyd Mamaril and thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Today's episode is for the person who's trying to stay strong even when life feels overwhelming. Maybe you're worried about money. Maybe work has been frustrating. Maybe you're doing everything you can pero parang walang nangyayari. Or maybe you're just simply tired. Tired of being strong, of figuring things out, tired of pretending that everything is okay. And if that's you, then I want you to know this. You are not alone. And more importantly, you are not failing just because life is difficult right now. Our episode today is called Hindi ka patalo, the right mindset when life gets rough. And our Bible verse comes from 2 Corinthians 4 verse 8. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. I love this verse because it doesn't deny reality. It doesn't say that life is easy. And it also doesn't say believers don't struggle. It simply reminds us that being pressured is not the same as being destroyed. You can be hurting and still healing. You can be struggling and still growing. You can be uncertain and still moving forward. And I think that's a message many of us need to hear today. Because somewhere along the way, we started believing that in life gets hard, it means you're doing something wrong. If we're broke, we're failures. And if we're not where our peers are, we're behind. If our plans don't work out immediately, maybe we're not good enough. But what if that's not true? What if rough seasons are simply part of being human? What if this chapter isn't punishment, but preparation? I remember hearing someone say this. Don't make permanent conclusions based on temporary circumstances. Totoo nga naman. Ang problema kasi kapag nasa gitna tayo ng bagyo, feeling natin, yun ang buong buhay natin. When money is tight, we think we'll always struggle. When work becomes difficult, we assume our careers are over. And when relationships disappoint us, we convince ourselves that nobody cares. But emotions are not always accurate narrators, ha? Just because you feel hopeless, it doesn't mean there is no hope. Just because you feel stuck doesn't mean you're not progressing. And just because you can't see the next chapter doesn't mean God isn't writing it. Let's talk about money first. Because let's be honest, money problems affect everything. You wake up anxious. You can't really fully enjoy time with loved ones. You overthink every purchase that you make. You wonder how you'll pay the bills. You begin questioning your worth because society often measures success by income. But can I tell you something? You know what? Your bank account reflects your financial situation. But it doesn't determine your value as a person. You are not more worthy because you earn more. You are not less important because you're rebuilding. You're not a failure because you're in a season of lack. I've met people with millions who are miserable. And I've met people also who had very little but possessed peace, gratitude, and generosity. Money is a tool. And yes, it is important. We have to pretend it isn't, no? Let's not pretend it isn't. But it's not your identity kasi. So if you're struggling financially right now, don't let shame consume you. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Why not ask, what can I learn from this season? Maybe it's teaching you discipline. Or maybe it's teaching you patience. Or maybe it's helping you distinguish needs from wants. Or also, It's showing you how creative and resourceful you are. And maybe, just maybe, it's teaching you to depend less on certainty and more on faith. Now, faith isn't sitting around waiting for miracles while doing nothing. Faith also looks like updating your resume. Faith looks like sending applications. Faith looks like learning a new skill. Faith looks like starting that side hustle. Faith looks like budgeting also. And faith looks like saying no to unnecessary expenses. Faith is prayer with action. And then there's work. Work can break your spirit in ways people don't always understand. You give your best and still you don't get recognized. You stay loyal and get overlooked. You work overtime while others seem to move ahead effortlessly. And then you start asking yourself, am I really good enough? Did I choose the wrong path? Or better yet, should I just give up? I want to remind you of this. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace. Social media has made everyone else's highlight reel accessible 24 hours a day. You see promotions, new cars, travel photos, business successes, engagement announces, awards, achievements, and suddenly, your ordinary day feels like a failure. But remember, you don't know the full story. You don't know their struggles at hindi mo rin alam what they sacrificed. You don't know what battles they're fighting privately. And even if they truly are ahead, their journey isn't your timeline. Remember, delayed is not denied. Some people bloom early. Others bloom later. The flower that blooms last isn't less beautiful. It's simply blooming in its own season. You know what? I know this personally. There were moments in my life when I questioned whether all the hard work was worth it. And as a creative, a director, a performer, there are seasons where projects are abundant. Then there are also seasons when things become quiet. And quiet seasons can be terrifying. Because you start wondering if you've lost your touch, if people have forgotten you, if opportunities will even return. But I've learned something. The quiet season is often where God develops your character. It is where resilience is built. It's where humility grows. It's where your reasons get tested. Let me ask you, do you love what you do only when it's celebrated? Or do you still love it when nobody notices? Because purpose isn't sustained by applause. Purpose is sustained by conviction. Then there's life in general. Sometimes nothing dramatic happens. And you're just tired. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You keep showing up for someone else's. You become the strong friend, the responsible sibling, the provider, the leader, the problem solver. And eventually, nobody asks how you're doing anymore because they assumed you're okay. But can I give you permission today? You don't have to be strong all the time. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to admit that this season hurts. Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Even Jesus wept. Think about that. the Son of God experienced grief. He felt sorrow. He understood pain. So why do we expect ourselves to function like robots? Sometimes, the bravest thing you can say is, I'm not okay right now. And that's okay. Just don't unpack and live there forever. Feel your emotions. Damdamin mo yan. I-process mo yan. Talk to someone. Most importantly, pray. Seek help when needed. Then slowly move forward. One small step at a time. I think one of the biggest mindset shifts we can make during rough seasons is changing our question. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? What if disappointment is teaching me resilience? What if waiting is teaching patience? What if loss is teaching gratitude? What if failure is teaching wisdom? Pain is not something we seek. But if we're willing to learn, pain can become one of life's greatest teachers. The person you become through hardship often matters more than the hardship itself. And maybe that's why your story isn't over. Because there's still something being developed inside you. And what are those? Strength, compassion, perspective, faith, character. The qualities that success alone rarely produces. If you're listening today while sitting in traffic, and if you're lying awake at night worried about bills, and if you're eating lunch at work wondering if your efforts matter, if you're silently carrying burdens nobody knows about, hear me out. You have survived 100% of your hardest days. Think about that. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every season you thought would destroy you. You are still here. The version of you listening right now is living proof that you are stronger than you realize. You may bend, but you don't have to break. You may pause, but you don't have to quit. You may cry, but you don't have to lose hope. Because this chapter is not the entire story. You are still becoming. You are still growing. You are still learning. And God is not finished with you yet. So today, take a deep breath. Drink your coffee. Answer that email. Send mo na yung application na yan. Apologize if you need to. Forgive if you're ready. Take care of your health. Rest if you're exhausted. Pray, even when your faith feels small. And keep showing up. Not because it's easy, but because your future self will thank you for not giving up. Remember this. A bad day is not a bad life. A difficult season is not a failed story. And a setback is not the end. Sometimes it's simply a setup for a comeback. So, as we end today's episode, I want to leave you with this reminder. You are hard-pressed, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. You may be going through rough times, but rough times don't get the final say. God does. And if you're still breathing, then purpose is still present. Hindi ka pa tapos. Hindi ka pa huli. At higit sa lahat, hindi ka pa talo. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Direk Talk. I'm Lloyd Mamaril, reminding you that even directors go through retakes. a difficult scene doesn't mean the movie is over. So keep going. See you in the next episode.